Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills in order to help you improve your way with words. Today's episode, we're entering the world of creativity and we're going to be talking about negative visualization. This form of visualization is basically when you're expecting the worst case scenario to occur. You're finding different creative methods around that. Let's say you're the CEO of a company. Every now and then, you probably don't want your employees being so positive all the time. Every now and then, you may encourage negative thinking because when they are being negative and pessimistic, they may see certain things around the corner that you as the CEO is not spotting. Let's say you come from the technical world. You also do negative visualization, but in a different context. You ever heard of the principle called stress testing a system? This is basically when we're going out of our way to make sure that the system works in every possible dynamic. Every now and then, the product owner gets their own team to try to hack into the system. Because if their own team can hack into the system, that means hackers can easily do that as well. So negative visualization is used in different contexts, and I want to talk about today how it's going to be used in order to make us a much more sharper, more brilliant, and more creative communicator. I'm not really going to make this video a how-to video. There's plenty of different videos on YouTube and blogs on Google on how to do negative visualization. Today, this topic is going to be the why. So if you're ready and excited for today's episode, go on and drop that like for me right on below. Let me give you a scenario real quick. Let's say that your grandma just moved into town and she lives 30 miles away from you. And for some strange reason, I am going to be the person who decides how you get there. I'm feeling generous today. So I ask you, would you like to walk or drive to meet your grandma? You think about it. Walk or drive? I mean, the answer seems too simple. Why is he even asking me? So in a very hesitant, cautious sort of way, you're like, I want to drive to my grandma. You feel like there's a catch. But there is no catch. I give you the car keys and you drive to visit your grandma. You eat the pot roast, the potatoes, all the food that she got prepared for you. In this situation, it wasn't rocket science. But now let me give you a different scenario. Imagine if I ask you, how would you like to create the content for your YouTube video today? Would you like to plan it out with this pencil? Or would you like to visualize it into existence? What would you choose? For a lot of people out there, they're going to choose a pencil. They're like, hey, give me that pencil and let me write down every little detail and jot everything down. And they don't even think about the visualization faculty. My philosophy is different. My philosophy is this. I want to double down on the visualization faculty because that's sort of like driving the car. It's much quicker. It's much more effective. Before words were even a thing, we processed the world with pictures. We still process the world with pictures. Every time that we're communicating, we're putting the words into words after we first processed it through the pictures. So why not double down on visualization skills rather than this all the time? It's not that we throw away the pencil, it's that we double down on this, and this pencil now becomes a compliment. But most people are like, nah, man, I don't want to do all that. Just give me the pencil. And this is the problem. It's because a lot of individuals do not understand the power of visualization, which definitely is not going to allow them to understand the power of negative visualization, which is much more advanced. Visualization is extremely powerful for communicators, especially nowadays, because look around you. Most things nowadays are becoming the speed of light. Money is something that a lot of people don't even see nowadays. I was in this old school business networking group a couple of years back, actually just 2 years back, so not too long ago. And one of the members came and he brought his daughter. The daughter was this little girl, and she was a Girl Scout. And she was a little sales girl as well. She gives this presentation as to why all the members in the meeting should buy her cookies. So after the meeting was done, there was this huge line of business owners who wanted the Girl Scout cookies. Once it was my turn, her dad, John, was like, "Your money, are you going to be paying with cash or Venmo?" What kind of question is that? Venmo. I don't even remember the last time I had cash. That's when the lady right next to me was like, "Young man, what is this Venmo that you speak of?" And I believe she was in her mid-60s or so. So I brought up the whole concept of what Venmo was. And she was like, "So you don't have to hold coins? You don't have to hold dollar bills?" I'm like, no, you don't even have to do all that. Look. And I execute that Venmo transaction right in front of her, and her mind is blown. Her entire life, up until that point, she viewed money as a sting. And at this point, money became an idea. And with information technology becoming more and more advanced, more things are becoming an idea. This YouTube video is an idea. That book that you're thinking about writing are ideas. That book that you're reading right now is an idea that's been formatted into paper, scribbles, and that glossy cover. So ultimately, the reason that we should double down on visualization skills is because it allows us to better process ideas, and that's all communication skills comes down to, the ability to process ideas. Now, this is where certain things were getting a little spooky. There came a certain point when I was watching Spider-Man, the old school one with Tobey Maguire. That's my favorite Spider-Man. And as I was watching it, I noticed as the movie was going, I was starting to think, man, this would be a worst case scenario if this happens, or something along those lines. And then that bad thing happens. Once again, I'm watching a different movie this time, and I'm like, man, if this bad thing happens in Titanic, for some reason this ship hits the iceberg, that's going to be a very worst case scenario. Then it happens. And that's when I started to realize stories are all negative visualization in forms. That's all storytelling is. It's you not only visualizing, it's you doing negative visualization. So for beginner storytellers or beginner public speakers who are thinking about, well, how do I create content? How do I make it compelling? It's actually about, how do I do negative visualization? How is it that these characters that I created can go through their worst case scenario and it actually happens? That's all a story is. And by understanding storytelling and seeing that play out, that becomes much easier to now understand the practical applications of negative visualization in our lives. So this CEO who wants their workers to be more negative at times, be more pessimistic, at first they probably saw zero connections between movies and negative visualization. They're doing negative visualization, but they probably thought it was a completely separate world than movies. But nowadays, a lot of CEOs are picking up the clues. Negative visualization is almost identical to storytelling. And this is why, and here's something that's happening nowadays. A lot of CEOs are working directly with screenwriters, the writers of movies. Just think about that. The world of business is now merging with the world of filmmaking because of a mindset tool known as negative visualization. So overall, there's a few different concepts that I've talked about in today's video. I told you this wasn't going to be a how-to video. it was going to be more so a why video. Why should we do visualization in the first place? Because it's the car rather than us walking. It's the truest essence of communication because we're dealing with ideas. The way that information technology is being advanced in today's world, it's gearing us towards practicing visualization. And if you want certain guides on how to become better at visualization skills, I'll link my visualization guide for dummies video right on here and in the description box if you're watching from the cell phone. And if you're watching from TV, just type in visualization 4, the number 4, dummies, Armani Talks. It'll be the first video that comes up. But now understand the power of visualization. Anytime that you're stuck on a story, anytime that you have a speech coming up and you're thinking, how can I make this a little bit more compelling? Think about the worst case scenarios that can possibly happen and then make it happen. That's storytelling in a nutshell. That's what all stories have in common. So take whatever you want from today's video. It's a different take on negative visualization. And I believe once you start practicing negative visualization with your stories, with the content that you produce, that's when your personal life starts to become a beautiful story in the process. If you want more unique insights like this on a variety of different topics that helps you improve your soft skills, be sure to check out Wordplay 101 short stories, essays, and insights to improve your communication skills. Currently, this is a great seller on Amazon's poetry anthologies and anthologies in general. Grab your copy on Amazon.com and you'll be given the link in the description box and the pinned comment right on below. Thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you on the next episode.